Okay, just kidding. If you got that thumbnail of me in some horror show, that was fun. I just made my first People Finder, Zoom Truth People Finder dude, guy called Derek, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying his name. Derek, cool guy, same age as me, similar age to me, similar kind of story, and similar, ideas about how it is. So that was cool, and he may well watch this. So thanks for the coffee, Derek. Appreciate that. Shame the machine wasn't working, but it was nice to sit in the sun. He and I took a little walk around a village called Westerham. It's just a little nondescript village. I've been around there a few times. I've been watching this channel for a while. And we just went off the main drag for just a few minutes, really, and what we encountered was rows of small houses, cheap houses. I mean, workmen's houses from back in the day. Not grand houses. There are some, bigger places and restaurants, hotels, and so on that are sport, so on. 334. He's into numerology, so sure you'll know the significance of that. 33 vertebrae in the spine. I'm entering a place called Biggin Hill. Videos nowadays, or ever, but hey, we should face the camera the other way. Enough of me. Let me turn it around. Okay. This area is called Biggin Hill, and if you break down the word Biggin, Biggin, it's a Biggin Hill. And if you're looking from a distance, can you see that Biggin Hill over there? That's a Biggin Hill. It's a real biggin, that one is. Yeah, you're welcome, mate. It's a real biggin. And Biggin Hill was famous in World War II because it was bombed an awful lot. It was bombed by the German Luftwaffe. You're welcome. It was bombed by the Luftwaffe a lot, and it was home to part of Bomber Command, which was so vital to the Allied war effort in the Battle of Britain. So oh gosh, how about that? Sorry if you were watching this live. If you weren't, it'll have broken. It won't have messed with you. But Nicholas, many of you will know Nicholas from YouTube land. He just phoned me. I didn't know the guy was a DJ. Anyway, this is interesting. This is interesting. I'm at, I fell out with a good friend. He was best man at my wedding. He was flying out of this place here, Biggin Hill, and his owners kept their jet here. One of those fancy things. What's interesting about Biggin Hill is because it's actually a high point. Yeah, it's the high point around here, this region, and they call it Biggin Hill, and they use it as an airfield, which is obviously flat to an extent. It's level. Why I raise this is because, what is curious for those who still hold on to their ball is that even though this might be the high point for us here, if I was to travel 20 miles away and stand on a hill, a lower hill, I would actually be higher than this airport because of relativity, because relativity would have me on the higher point. And we never really ask ourselves this question, is that if this place is 250 meters, 270 meters above sea level, how can it be 50 miles from the sea when sea level is meant to be like, I mean, that as an equation would mean much more than 270 meters, just on a curving. Oh well. I thought I have had a fantastic with Derek, and as I said to him, we agreed that really we don't know where this all leads, where this is going to, but there must be a reason to it. Definitely been called to it for a reason. Definitely been charged with taking on new information and being a change agent for whatever's coming. And our ability to network with each other at a local level might be the changing and the saving and the developing and the growing of this new paradigm of thinking, one in which we realize our sovereignty, our divinity, our special place, our uniqueness, our value, and the value of taking humanity out of the sewer, out of Donald Trump's swamp, and you know, and back to a much higher spiritual place, a much more divine place, a much more loving, balanced place. Very ashram kind of thing, versus, you know, rugby, American football style, male, lower energy. Or by that I mean, sorry, that's me nipping through there. You know, that kind of warrior, we need to go and beat people down to change the world. It's funny how we're having sort of the highest point. So this is it. And, you know, I mean, obviously I name call at my peril. But we don't want to be like, you know, all Eric Dubay and just sit here in a yoga pose and you know, divine feminine it all better. Nor do we want to be his counterpart, which is Del from behind the shed, who wants to kind of beat everybody in some kind of warrior style. We need the balance of those two, you know. Those are important traits. It's important to be the warrior, to be the masculine, and it's important to have the feminine. Apologize to those two gentlemen. It's getting super hot. That's wanting me to stop. So I'm going to call it quits there and say thank you for your time. And